If I had known the knife in my back would come from the one I protected with my own hands, I might have still chosen to love her, but I would have at least prepared for the betrayal. I raised her like my own daughter. I covered her mistakes, fed her, clothed her, and wiped her tears. But the same girl I raised is the one who shattered my home. This is my story of heartbreak, betrayal, and how Allah healed what I thought could never be repaired. I was just 19 when Mama passed away. And my sister, Amal, was only 6. Our father was never around. And I had to grow up overnight. I became mother, sister, friend, all in one. I remember her tiny hands holding onto my abaya on the first day I walked her to school. She'd cry if I left her side. And I'd tell her, "Don't worry, Amal. I'll never leave you." I cooked for her. I missed school to care for her. Every Eid, I'd use my sewing machine to stitch us matching dresses. She'd twirl in front of the mirror and say, "Do I look like you now, Ukhti?" And I'd smile, not knowing the day would come when she would try to replace me. But back then, she was my baby. When I got married at 22, Amal was only 9. Even on my wedding day, she clung to my dress, afraid I'd leave her behind. So I didn't. I brought her with me into my new home. My husband, Harith, was understanding. He treated her like a little sister. I was proud. My two worlds had come together peacefully. I could have focused only on my marriage, but I didn't. I'd wake Amal for far, pack her lunch, attend PTA meetings, all while being a wife. Harith once said, "You treat her better than some people treat their own daughters." And I replied with a laugh, because she's my daughter. Allah chose me to raise her. I didn't know that same girl would one day hide her messages from me. As Amal grew into a young woman, I noticed a shift. She became secretive. More obsessed with her appearance. She'd watch me closely, how I dressed, how I talked to Harith, how I cooked. Sometimes I'd come home and find her wearing my hijab in front of the mirror. I'd smile and tease her, trying to look like me again. She'd say, "Don't you want your sister to be just like you?" I thought it was love. But behind her smile was envy. One afternoon, I walked in on Amal laughing on the phone. When she saw me, she quickly put it down. I didn't think much of it. Later that night, I heard Harith's phone buzz. It was a strange message from an unsaved number. A flirtatious emoji. A nickname only I used for him. My heart skipped. But he brushed it off. "Spam," he said. "Ignore it." So I did. Because I trusted both of them, blindly. I began praying differently. Not just for provision or health, but for clarity. Ya Allah, if there's anything in my home that's hidden from me, show me. Protect me from what I don't see, because something in my chest had started to ache, and I didn't know why. Amal was still sweet. Still helping me in the kitchen. Still hugging me at night. But sometimes, even poison comes with a smile. It was the smallest things. Amal started asking Harith for things she used to ask me. "Harith, can you drop me at school?" "Harith, what do you think of my new dress?" "Harith, do you like when women cook like this?" It all seemed innocent. Until one day, I was ill and lying in bed, and heard her giggle in the kitchen. His laugh followed. Then silence. My stomach turned, but my nafs told me, "It's your sister. She would never." But Shaitan doesn't attack strangers first. He breaks families. Outwardly, our house looked calm. But my soul, it was at war. I started watching. Listening. I'd check Harith's messages, nothing. I watched Amal, all I saw was sweetness. But in Salah, my heart kept whispering, "There is something here you can't see. Keep praying." So I begged, "Ya Allah, if this storm will destroy me, then let it pass. But if it will purify me, then let it come, even if it breaks me." Then came the night I'll never forget. I walked into the living room and saw Harith hand Amal a new phone. You didn't have to do that, I said. He looked shocked. She looked down. It's nothing, he muttered. She needed one. But that phone was locked. Hidden. And the next morning, Amal didn't look me in the eyes. The day I found out wasn't through a message or a phone call. It was through a stickera. That night, I cried on the prayer mat until far. I asked Allah to either remove my doubts or expose the truth. The next morning, I opened Harith's laptop to check something for work. His email was open, and in it was a draft. A nikah request. From Harith to a wali. And the name of the bride? Amal. I froze. I read it again, and again. And then I heard the front door open. Amal's voice. Then Harith's. And for the first time in my life, I had nothing to say. Just tears. Silent. Heavy. Uncontrollable. That moment. Standing there with the laptop in my hands, hearing their voices approach the room, I felt like the earth should split open and swallow me. But it didn't. Instead, I calmly closed the laptop and waited. When they walked in, both paused, as if they sensed something had changed. I looked Amal in the eyes first. Do you love him? Her lips parted, trembling. She didn't deny it. She didn't cry. She just looked away. I turned to Harith. You told me you would never take a second wife. That was your promise to me. He sighed. I didn't plan it this way. It just happened. You were so busy being a mother to her. I felt ignored. That cut deeper than any sword. I was ignored because I was raising his future bride. I didn't shout. I didn't curse. I went to Amal's room, picked up her clothes, folded them one by one, and placed them into the same bag she brought from our old home when I raised her. She came behind me, finally crying. Ukhti. I didn't mean to. I stopped her. Call me that. You knew exactly what you were doing. Don't. You said you'd never leave me, she whispered. You left me first, I replied. The door closed behind her, and my tears didn't stop for days. I still made tea for two. I still set her prayer mat beside mine. I still looked at the door every evening, expecting her to walk in. But she didn't. Weeks passed. The pain sat in my chest like stone. But somehow, I still stood for tahajjud. I still made dua, sometimes with words, sometimes just tears. And in that quiet, I began to heal. Ya Allah, replace what I've lost with what is better. Take away the people who were only sent to test me. And send those who will protect my heart. One day, Harith came home alone. He sat down, defeated. She left, he said. She said I was just a challenge. A competition. She never loved me. My chest didn't rise with pride. I simply said, Allah gives you exactly what you chase. You chose betrayal, now live with its result. And that night, for the first time, I slept in peace. 2 months later, I was folding laundry when I heard a soft knock at the door. I opened it and there she stood. Amal. She looked thin. Her eyes swollen with tears. Her hijab untidy, not like how I raised her. For a moment, I wanted to shut the door. But my heart, it softened. Can I come in? She asked quietly. I didn't answer. I stepped aside. She sat on the edge of the couch, like a stranger in the home we once shared. I made the biggest mistake of my life, she said. I know, I replied. She began to sob, bitter, heavy sobs. You were the only person who truly loved me. And I destroyed it. I destroyed you. I held her. I cried with her, but I didn't forget. That night, I made a stickera. Not about taking her back into my life, but whether my forgiveness should lead to closeness, or just peace from afar. The answer was clear: forgive but don't reopen the door Allah closed. So I forgave her. But I didn't bring her back. We will always be sisters, I told her. But some relationships aren't meant to be restored. They're meant to be a lesson. She nodded. She didn't argue. Because the old Amal, the one I raised, was no longer here. And neither was the version of me that accepted disrespect dressed in sisterhood. Harith stayed. But the love didn't. Even though I tried, I prayed, I was patient, I gave it a chance, there was a wall between us now. I wasn't angry anymore. But I wasn't the same woman he married. One evening, I made a decision, not out of rage but clarity. You broke your promise, I told him. And I lost myself trying to keep this home together. So what do you want? He asked. I want peace. I want healing. I want space to grow without living beside the man who helped break me. And so I asked for divorce. I didn't just survive. I became stronger, more confident, more connected to Allah. I started teaching Quran at a local masjid. I gave advice to young girls who were heartbroken. I poured my pain into purpose. One day, a sister I was counseling asked, "How did you stay so calm when your world collapsed?" And I smiled and said, because I learned that Sabr isn't staying silent. It's trusting Allah when your heart is screaming. Months passed. Then one day, I got a message. It was from Harith. I made a terrible mistake, he said. I married a test and divorced a blessing. He wanted to meet. To talk. To apologize. Maybe even to come back. But I had healed now, and healing means not reopening what Allah has closed. I replied kindly, I forgive you. But I no longer belong in a chapter I've already closed. Peace is when you don't need closure from people anymore. Only from Allah. That Ramadan was the most peaceful of my life. Every night, I cried in sujud, not out of pain anymore, Ya Allah. You took everything that broke me and turned it into a light that now guides others. One evening after Taraweeh, an elderly woman from the masjid told me, you inspire me. The way you carry your pain with dignity, it's beautiful. And I realized, my story wasn't about betrayal. It was about redemption. Looking back, I wouldn't erase a single moment. Not the tears. Not the betrayal. Not even the loneliness. Because each one pushed me closer to my Lord. Perhaps you dislike something, and it is good for you. Quran chapter 2 verse 216. My story didn't end with a happy marriage, but with a peaceful soul. And that, dear sister, is the greatest ending of all. It was Eid. I was walking out of the masjid, holding a gift bag for a new revert sister when I saw her, Amal. She stood at a distance, watching me. She looked fragile, but for the first time, she looked respectful. She approached me slowly. Ukhti, she whispered. I paused. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted to say thank you for raising me, even when I didn't deserve it. She didn't ask to come back. She didn't ask for forgiveness. She just respected the boundary. And sometimes that's enough. If I could write a letter to the younger me, the one who cried every night after being betrayed by the two people she trusted most, I would say, dear heart, they hurt you. But Allah never did. So trust Him more than your tears, more than your fear, more than your brokenness. He didn't abandon you. He was protecting you from a life you didn't know would have crushed your soul. To every sister watching this, maybe your story is like mine. Maybe the people you loved the most were the ones who wounded you the deepest. But hear this, you are not broken. You are being shaped by the one who created your heart. Cry. Make dua. But don't stop believing. Because just like me, you'll rise. And when you do, you'll be stronger than you've ever been. Ya Allah, heal every sister who's been betrayed. Replace their pain with peace. Make their sabr a means of elevation. Ameen. If this story touched your heart, like, subscribe, comment Ameen if you're praying for peace too. And don't forget to share this story, someone may need it more than you know. This is Sabr and Secrets, where every heartbreak becomes a message of hope.